Well, that's all I heard too, but see, I had heard it was a general, so I had looked in this book of who's who in the Civil War. Well, it wasn't in there, so then I kind of doubted the whole thing, but they said it was a captain.
So maybe they have captains.
Can your thing pick up?
I'm not sure. I'll try to, let me get it over as quick as I can. Is there another plug behind that?
Yep.
Let me try that then. Well, that works pretty good. I've got a bunch of tapes. Maybe we can get some more stories. But anyway, you were telling us about your grandmother being such a good cook.
Oh yeah, she would cook anytime we go there for the Easter or Christmas or anything special. She would cook pork and have beef and rice and a big meal anyway.
Did people hunt a lot? Did you have a lot of game too? Like, no?
No,
not so much?
No, group, no.
Well, I remember Grandpa saying stuff like he could go out with a gun and shoot and get 6 birds at once or something like that. There were so many birds and there weren't so many birds
probably at one
anymore.
time over in some of them islands, they're just full of birds, but around our house they wasn't.
Yeah, I think he was just saying there wasn't that many birds anymore.
We never had very much any birds.
And it's like the fishing around here, that's what the
Well, yeah, there was a good fishing at one time, but no more. Well, a lot of it is caused by pollution. That creek there, one guy opened a big dairy and he washed down the clean up, fouled up the creek.
But did you hear Andy talk about, he said that in the morning you had couscous and an evening meal couscous, and then they said that the eggs from the chicken every day, is that right? Someone would take the eggs?
Oh yeah, go sell them.
But then you get a little meat for the afternoon meal?
Yeah,
is that right? Because he said no refrigerator, so.
Right.
My grandfather used to go and get the meat and he'd bring it in for the noon meal. That was the big meal in our place. That's why we had couscous in the morning and probably couscous at night.
But so is that the Stemmons? Grandpa Stemmons?
Yeah, he used to go and bring all these workers some meat. He was pretty honest with his worker.
Well, he had how many anvils?
Oh, and then he had a blacksmith shop. He had 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, so he had other workers?
Well, he had his son, and he had this old Frenchman, and himself. He was a very good blacksmith. And they probably have an extra one for if they want to do something else.
But that's what he didn't farm, he was a blacksmith.
Yeah, but he had a bunch of guys, a colored guy working for him. All over the farm.
Oh, he had a farm too.
Oh yeah, he had about 60, 80 acres near our house, and he had about maybe another 100 acres where Ray is now. And Ray got to lease his land again for oil.
Still, you mean now?
Right now.
Oh yeah.
$100 an acre for 4 or 3 years, I think.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Got 14, I think he got $1,400 for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, for just 4 acres, that's good money.
Yeah.
But they didn't go so far. They didn't lease so far out.
Yeah.
You must know something.
Well, they didn't, I don't know, they don't seem
I don't know.
to be able to hit it right, I don't know.
The last time we were there, I was there a long time ago. That was like 67 or something. We went, I think it was you and me and Francis and Andy, I guess. We went to see a blacksmith, relative of yours, and he gave you tips on the horses. Then we went to Evangeline Downs.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that? Who was that?
Probably it was Eddie Stemmen.
He's your uncle or something? Who
Yes, he was my uncle.
The thing that I thought was funny about that was that he gave him 8 horses on the 8 races.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, on the first 2 they didn't bet and his horse came in, and then they bet on the next one, he didn't come in. So he picked like 4 out of 8 winners. You could have made a fortune. But they all bet on the wrong horses. They lost money.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of funny.
Oh dear.
But if you could pick 4 out of 8 every day, you could be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a racetrack there?
Oh, yeah, in Carencro, there's a big racetrack.
Evangeline Downs.
It wasn't
In
there.
that little town?
Yeah, I wasn't there, but all the people come from Lafayette.
Oh, I see. Well,
5 miles
Francis told
away.
us what the name of Karen Crow means.
Oh, what does it mean?
You
Was
know, yeah. He said the train would stop there, and when they came through, they saw all these buzzards one time.
Oh, so that's what it means.
Yeah.
Huh. Is it a French word or?
Yeah, I think it's a French word. And he said people are, making up like it's an Indian word and all this, but he said no, it's a French word. He said.
Yeah. Call it buzzard the Carencro. But they still call it the buzzard Carencro. There was a lot of buzzard. There was a lot of. Every time something dying.
But the train went through there, right?
Not through Carencro, yeah.
In high school, I know you were a track man. I saw some of those old clippings. You ran a 2-minute half mile.
Half mile, yeah.
That's really fast on those old tracks. The cinder track they had, or just
Grass track.
just good. Boy, that's fast. That'd be fast today on these rubber tracks.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked on those rubber tracks?
Yeah.
Boy, it's like
Yeah.
it's no wonder they run so fast.
Springing in.
And they have these shoes that they weigh like nothing,
Mm.
like air. Amazing.
Well, when we went to the basketball game, Lucy said you were good at basketball.
Well, that was average, I guess.
Yeah, he used to. When I was little, Dad would come and we would play down at. We played basketball at Alameda High, in the outside. 2-handed sit shot. Do you play on
No.
that? You play baseball too, huh? You catcher.
Oh, I just
Little
saw
bit.
ball. But we would have had a good basketball team if we had a guard that was short, and even the forward was really short.
So you were the center?
And then they would leave. It was wide open a lot of time. They wouldn't give me the ball. Of course, I don't blame it. They was so short they
Couldn't see.
couldn't see me.
Andy didn't play basketball. Huh?
I'm not sure. I don't think he did. Probably played intramural. I really don't know. I was gone.
You went to Southwestern for a year.
For 1 year.
Were you? And then after that, Is that when you went in the Merchant Marine? Or?
No.
What happened?
I joined the CC and then came to Oregon.
Okay.
White Forest Fires. I don't know, Bill Road. Yeah, Bill Road. Shoot dynamite. Boy, one day I shot dynamite. Boy, it gave me the worst headache.
Wow.
Boy, I didn't know dynamite could give you a headache.
Well, I guess the noise, huh? Is it noise or this?
The noise
No,
down?
I guess
Well, I guess it could, actually could,
Give you a
vibrations
concussion?
could shake your brain, your head.
Mm.
Concussion, sort of like.
You know, I think it was kind of the smell of it.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Because I'm allergic to a lot of pollen in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's a pretty strong chemical.
Huh.
Then while I was in Oregon, I joined the Navy.
Yeah, the war then,
No,
No?
the war wasn't started yet.
Oh,
Okay, so that was, what year was that about?
Let's see,
had to be
The
before
first,
41.
1941, I think, or 19.
Oh, okay, so it was
right before.
right near the war then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went through boot camp, and they sent me to Metalsmith School
Where was that?
in Alameda.
Oh, in Alameda?
In Alameda?
Oh, didn't know that.
Oh yeah, there were big hangars there.
Well, when you worked there, it wasn't a metalsmith place. I mean, training, was it?
Well, no, it was all over. The war was over.
Oh, just for the war. Uh-huh.
During the war.
And then from there you went
And then the war started. Then they shipped me on a transport or whatever it was, Liberty ship. And we went like this all the way. It took us about 8 days to get to Hawaii.
Because they thought that would. Why did you have to take so long time?
Because the submarine, they was afraid of the submarine.
Yeah,
Japanese, it was kind of scary.
yeah.
Then we got to Pearl Harbor, and then I stayed in a tent city. They got there was so many.
This was right after Pearl Harbor attack, right? Yeah.
They were sending everybody over to Pearl Harbor. Some went on carriers, but I lucked out. I didn't go on a carrier, but I work on the California. They were raising it up.
Oh, you worked on it?
Well, pick up, clean up.
Oh, uh-huh.
They were closing the hatch and all what
But to get
those
it up?
divers
Uh-huh.
would send up. We had to clean up. Then from there, they sent me to Kaneohe Bay. That's about
Then on the Big Island? Where's that?
No,
down Oahu.
Oahu?
Went over a big, you call it the Pali, a high mountain.
But it's sort of like the pass next to Diamond Head there, is that what it is? Something like that? No?
Not very far from Diamond Head, but it was a big mountain. Then they made me a commando with a Tommy gun, 100 round, steel helmet, all the end of my bed, waiting for the Japanese to come. That was the worst part, just waiting.
They thought they'd come there, huh? Yeah, they thought they
Yeah,
would.
they're already.
Yeah.
Well, as we were saying, if
And they broke the code. They were coming to
Midway or no?
Midway, yeah.
that was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, then they bombed Midway, and all the plane was taken there. They were going to put torpedoes, I guess, on. And we struck them while they were doing that. And we sunk, I think they sunk the carrier.
Yeah, three carriers were sunk. That was the decisive battle of the war, actually, of the Pacific War, Midway. Hey,
Even a PBY where I was working, they went over there and dropped 4 torpedoes on the aircraft carrier and didn't get a shot.
Huh.
They didn't fire a shot at it.
They were just so surprised, or?
Well, they were surprised, but they were so busy changing their stuff,
Oh, I
you know.
see.
yeah, they caught him just
So they
at the
knew
right time.
that this, because they had broken the code, they knew that
They
they were
were
doing
coming.
this,
Yeah.
huh?
Nimitz got all the ship he could. Plus, in the Pacific at first, that was the second battle. Everything was going to Europe at first
Yeah.
when we decided the war.
Yeah.
But if they had come to Midway, then they probably would have come back to Hawaii again,
Oh, I see.
and they
Oh,
would
yeah.
have had a staging area.
But they were gonna send you to the Philippines, I thought. You told me one time.
Well, we didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Probably a lot of rumors, I suppose.
That's where Jay went to the Philippines.
Okay, Jay was the one that they were telling about, that he drove the...
Yeah, a PT boat or something.
Yeah, it was one of those that...
They could land
What's the-
land
yeah.
on the land.
Oh, amphibious.
And it was dark.
Yeah, and then he dropped the people off, right?
Yeah.
And then he had to come back.
Back to the big
Yeah,
ship.
and I said,
And his boat stopped. So he said, if you come out in the dark,
yeah,
we're gonna
that's
shoot
what they
you.
said, yeah.
So he stayed there all night, sweated out. But in the morning he got it started and went back to the ship.
Wow.
He was pretty lucky. He didn't get
Yeah,
killed.
that's really lucky.
Yeah, he had a dangerous job.
Oh boy, yeah.
And then you heard Andy talk about his war experience. You
Oh,
did,
yeah.
and how did you miss
I
that?
didn't, all I heard,
Daddy told me.
I only heard that he was in North Africa. Then he took him
He was
7 days to get to North
6
Africa.
months in the French Navy.
Oh. But he said they were putting engines in airplanes, right? And so because he could speak French,
Yeah, he went there
they
in
made
the
him
French
some
Navy.
sort of supervisor or something like that.
Yeah.
But he didn't like it at all. He said.
No, well, they probably didn't treat him
Yeah,
right. You
yeah.
know.
Yeah, it
Just
sounded
like
they
you
kinda-
would go in a British.
Yeah, yeah. And then they didn't like that he wasn't a good, very high rank and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, they wanted one that's first class. He was just a third class petty officer.
Yeah, and then it sounded like he had a commander or something that didn't like him very good, that kind of really made things difficult for him, like to get him into trouble with, like, don't inspect this or something, Well, that wasn't what he was saying, but it was like, if he could get him into trouble and he wanted his signature on something, that he knew wasn't inspected, and he wouldn't do it, kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But he said this guy was really awful guy. He said one time they were getting off a plane and there was these 2 little kids that were starving. And that guy,
What do you do? Kick him or something?
well, he gave them some candy,
Some what?
candy. But then he took their picture and then he took the candy away.
Wow.
He took what? The kid away?
He took
Took
the
the candy away.
back. And
What
so
a-
Andy said, I went in my suitcase and I gave those kids some candy and he said, well, you can't do that. And the guy says, well, they're going to starve anyway.
Oh boy, he was
A mean guy.
he was A heck of a. Do you know what he did? He won Andy 5.
Yeah.
He loosened the spark plug, 2 spark plugs.
On a plane?
Yeah. And when he come back, they check it. They said that Andy had.
Okayed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to get him fired from that job. Boy. But in Kenneoy, it was all different for me. I worked hard, but all the other department, they wanted me to go work for them. I didn't want to make first class. Second class was all right for me.
What other kind of departments were there?
Oh, well, one was where they work on engine and the baffles, and sometimes the cover was smashed in, big buckles on it. And you would fix that all up so they can use it again.
Well, what did you do then? I mean, you did just the tanks and the...
Well, where I was? Oh, I was doing repair on everything they brought into like the cowling and all that stuff.
But not the engine.
Oh no, I didn't work in all that. But all the stuff that needs to be repaired.
These were all the planes that were damaged in the Pacific. They came back to Hawaii? Or?
Yeah, a lot of them did. Bullets here and there. Make holes, usually in the rudder or the big would hold the rudder there. They would hit it by the time. And we had to repair it. We had to put a piece of metal there. You see, like it was break here, but you got to have 1, 2, 3 or 4 rivets here and some rivets there in between, and on the other side it should be just a light. Make it strong.
It had to be the same, huh?
Oh yeah, so it had to be as strong. And the inspector had to come and check it.
Well, how many guys worked there? I mean, were you with you?
Oh, there. Well, there was quite a few of them. You know, 9 down, they even had some civilian working there. But about 5 or 6 civilians in our shop. And other shop where they build the engine, they wanted me, and the other one that does the hull, they wanted me. I used to overhaul, you know, the front where they open that door. They had those 90-day wonders. You ever heard of them?
No, Lindy would know.
They didn't know they had a pump they could have had a pump that they could have opened that that wheel so it would come out. They would come on 2 wheels, the front wheel.
They didn't know they could do it by hand?
Oh, so they were just...
Boy, we had about 5 or 6 planes waiting to come in the shop. Well, we got them fixed.
They would do that like during training or something. They didn't know how to...
Well,
they just didn't know how to...
What do they call them? The 90-day wonders.
The pilots.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
They were the 90-day wonders.
Not experienced.
They didn't have no experience or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be rough, yeah.
I probably knew more about the PBY than they did.
Yeah. So when those pilots would get trained, they just trained for one plane? Or they had to just learn to fly them all? Or?
I think they were trained for the PBY, but patrol plane, they had another patrol plane there. Maybe they were trained for that one too. I don't know.
And you were there throughout the whole war?
About 3 years, then they sent me back to the state, and then I worked at Sandpoint for a while. Then from Sandpoint, they sent me to San Diego to be on a B-24 squadron.
Sandpoint is where? Where's Sandpoint?
It's in Seattle, on the Washington Lake, the big Washington Lake there. Then you dropped the atomic bomb, and that was it. I didn't get to go back.
Well, you would have went back.
Hmm?
You would have had to go back.
Well, we were getting ready.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
One time I went on a bombing run. Boy, I thought that B-24 will never come out of it. You know, it was coming down like this.
Where was that at, the bombing run? Where was that?
Oh, in San Diego, they had a bombing run outside San Diego, a bunch of desert up in there.
Sounds pretty too exciting.
No.
What were they going to have you do on the part of the crew?
Well, I would repair whatever they need on the B-24.
So they were preparing to bomb Japan then?
They were prepared to go bomb the Japanese.
Oh, yeah?
Probably would have went back to Hawaii, then from Hawaii. They had captured some of the islands.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe would have went to Australia. Help them bomb, what's that island they were bombing like hell?
Because the Japanese were there?
Oh, yeah, they were there. Oh, what's the name of that island? Everybody knew it.
Wendy would know. I don't know my history, but... Not New Guinea.
It wasn't New Guinea, it was,
How close to Australia?
well, it was pretty close.
Yeah, look in the atlas.
It's an easy name.
Yeah, we'll probably go.
Sandy something. They were building a airport to bomb Australia. So they started bombing them.
The Japanese were in Australia?
They were getting them from that island. They were.
Oh, were they? Oh gosh, I didn't know.
That's why we went out.
That's why you were getting prepared, huh?
Well, that's what they were getting ready. They were already bombing and everything.
Yeah. You'd be the
They
next group.
reinforcement.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Solomon Island.
Is that right?
I know there's a lot of different places in here.
But just say the name and see if Dad recognizes.
This is
Maybe you can see it. Pick it out. A lot of the names are famous because of battles over there.
Yeah.
Guadalcanal and stuff like that.
getting a little windy, maybe help dry the grass out.
Yeah, it's blue sky now. At least off in that direction.
Yeah, I think it's gonna clear. Go to the library and bring you guys a video tomorrow maybe.
Okay.
You never know what you find. Unless anybody has a request, I could buy. They have a thing here, you can get 4 videos, like for $4.
Oh, this place? Oh, that's right, Lindy said something.
I don't know if this, yeah, I think so, because I think you've got, there's a one up there.
Yeah, maybe we should go over. Where's the guy?
Well, we'll do that tomorrow maybe, because I'll look at the library first. Sometimes they have good old things. I think
Oh, he gets 12 for $1 and then he quits or something like that.
Yeah, you know.
Well, he's always got he's pretty good at.
Little petty theft.
Well, that's not petty theft. It's just.
It's playing the rules.
Yeah, that's right. That's not.
It's embarrassing though. He'll tell people about this and he's just about dying.
You know, people that have a.
But he records.
Some people appreciate that.
Yeah. I think most people look at him like.
It's a lot better than one of the math teachers at Menlo College. His wife would go in and take all the crackers. You know, he got soup and she'd take all the crackers and her purse and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's bad.
She was completely shameless about it. She didn't. You know, I guess that helps. You know, I'd be so embarrassed to take
poor, but.
No. It's not because she's poor.
That's terrible.
She figures, well, they're there, so I'm going to take them. So it's sort of legally, that's right, I guess, but it's sort of not the spirit thing.
Who sent the card over there?
From Karen Crow. Friend or relative.
I just love listening to Lucy tell the names of those people.
I know, and she said, well, yeah, without her saying who they were, there's no chance. Maybe we can get her to say some of the names. Maybe Jack can tell us. But you'd have to stop it. Yeah, you'd have to stop it. And then write it down. You'd have to stop it over and over again. What's that?
She said they tried that, at home.
Maybe she couldn't speak fast enough.
Yeah, she speaks pretty fast.
Yeah, she's real.
Yeah, Kelly really. Were you here the night? No, that must have been the Avalon night. And she put on the Cajun music and.
Mom was telling you about that. Dancing, giving dancing lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing to do now.
Yeah, she was telling us about somebody fine dancing.
Oh yeah, country and western line dancing. The high school kids do it now.
Well, Kelly does it too. Every Thursday or something. Line dancing. But see, one of those songs on one of those tapes, well, I mean, I think she probably recognized quite a few of those songs. They were pretty old Cajun songs. One of them, she knew all the words. But she says they're all kind of sad songs. They're always like I pass by your door, you're not there, or something. They're all kind of like
Well,
heartbroken.
it seems like an awful lot of those. Well, in fact, all of the ones from Ireland and Scotland and those places, that they're always about someone who died, somebody this, some young person, some woman who was betrayed and killed herself. And, oh yeah, they're all really, they're all like that. It seems like there's almost no exception.
Well, I guess I don't know what they're saying.
Well, they're French, so I don't know. It seems like some of the Frenchmen, some of those Cajun ones, are so
well, that's what
lively.
I was telling her, yeah. But she
They don't
says the
sound-
words are...
The words are sad anyway.
The words are sad even though... But I think that's the Cajun maybe there. I mean, Lindy got so excited about this Pie Day thing. He thought, well, that's quite an idea. He said, we should have Pie Day. But it's like, I mean, it's on Good Friday, right?
Yeah,
Good
right.
Friday.
Right.
Mhm.
So they
So
have.
it's 7
Well,
to
that's
10 on
like.
Good Friday.
Well, that's like Mardi Gras leading into Lent, right? So
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
have parties.
I think, yeah, I think
They're
kind
famous
of
for their parties.
good spirited.
Maybe they were getting ready to go to New Guinea, but I'm not sure from where they were coming.
Probably all along there.
Well, Lindy was quite, no, I was asking him about Pie Day, but then Andy was saying about Candle Day. Did you remember that?
I remember about some camel, but
Well, he said that you'd go, I don't know if the people would come to your house or he said your dad was real good. See, you go to somebody's house, as I understand it, and then you make crepes. And if you could, it was kind of like fortune telling, you could flip it, yeah, without breaking it, then
good crop.
yeah, good crop, and I don't know what else you ask, but it was like you asked something about the next year.
Yeah.
And then that was that at your house, or was that?
Yeah, well, they made it at our for our family. Mostly it was a family deal.
Well, it was a family thing, but it was February 2nd. Lucy said. I don't
Well,
think we
maybe
have
some
that
family
holiday.
got together anyway, but no, they usually it's a family thing.
But he said no other Cajun would do that. It's just your family.
Oh no, most of them all around there
Oh,
would
they
do
do
it.
it. Oh, okay. But Andy said your dad was good at it.
Yeah, yeah, he could flip them pretty good.
And Andy said you put the syrup in the middle and roll them up.
Yeah, sugar. I like sugar in it.
He must have liked syrup. And he said that you had cotton and
Corn,
corn for the animals. Several
No,
things.
not cotton for the animal, no.
corn.
Probably sugar cane.
Corn, sugar cane, we raised it.
Sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
Must be sweet potato. Yeah. But he said
There's
how.
no money with the sweet potatoes, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, he said he was telling me how much an acre you made, but I didn't know what year it was. But he said like $22 an acre on some of the,
Yeah.
thing, not too
It
much.
wasn't very much, the depression.
He said the most on cotton.
Cotton was the most.
I thought.
They all were. I mean, it wasn't like a big. Wasn't that like double any of them?
Oh no, we wasn't making very much. A lot of hard work though.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But after you got out of the Navy, was that in San Diego you got out?
No. I was in Oklahoma City. I went to New Orleans and discharged there.
And then after that, what did you do then?
Well, I was looking for a job. I finally got a job on that tanker, the Merchant Marine. I was a Merchant Marine.
That's
Right.
wonderful.
So that's the sequence of
Yeah.
events. I have all these stories, but I don't
know.
have them in any order.
Merchant Marine, what, 1.5 years, okay. I bought a car, went to California, worked for General Motors. And,
Was that in Southern California?
yeah,
I know you didn't like that.
no,
You never buy a General Motor car. that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah. We're trade. We're Democrats, and when
Yeah, but I mean, you work hard for them, and they wouldn't even sell you a car.
How come?
Well, they would sell them in South America for $5,000 more.
Oh, I see.
And the dealer was, they promised the dealer so many, so.
Oh. I thought it was because you didn't like the way the car was made.
Well, I didn't know, I didn't like that either. Nobody wasn't there with that one day. You got to do a little bit of his, the other guy to do a little bit of his, then you had to do your own. Boy. And then you know it wasn't done like it should have been.
Yeah.
how long were you at General Motors then?
Oh, not very long, about 3 months maybe. Went back to Louisiana. I think I took another run on the Merchant Marine.
Where did you go? What kind of places did you go? I know you went
New
to
York,
New York. Yeah.
West Virginia, no, Virginia. Another place.
Would you sign up like for 6 months at a time or something?
Well, you had to stay on that down ship for 6
For a
months.
cruise or
Before,
something? One
no,
cruise?
you get a bonus if you stay 6 months,
Oh,
about $600.
pretty good.
On the, where did you work? In the engine room or something? Where did you work?
Oh yeah, I was a fireman first, and they were shorted of fireman, and they made me a oiler, oiler the big engine. It
Oh,
goes up and down like that.
uh-huh.
Well, that must have been pretty heavy, hot work.
Oh, it was hot as the dickens. I mean,
So a fireman meant you had to keep putting stuff in for the fire? Or-
no, you got oil. You
Oh.
keep your fire going all the
Oh,
time.
uh-huh.
And you got to watch your water gauge. So.
It's a steam, runs on steam.
Oh yeah, it was running on steam.
Did you say that? Did they ever go overseas? Did you ever go?
No, I wanted to go to Germany, and I came to Long Beach, and I tried, said okay, but then when that Liberty ship or whatever it was, the ship anyway, oh, there were so many old time
Merchant seaman?
old time card carrier
Oh,
Union
Oh, I
guys.
see, yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I didn't have a chance.
yeah.
So then I went to work for North American. They were building aircraft.
This was also in Southern California again.
Yeah, that was in Southern
So you
California.
took the merchant. You took the Merchant Marine. Took you to Long Beach. Is that right?
No, I had the card.
You drove over. Okay.
I drove over to Long Beach, tried to
Alright.
get a job to go overseas, but maybe it was a good thing I didn't get the job. When I met Evelyn, quit my job, went to Seattle, worked at Sandpoint.
Were you a civilian employee then, working at Sandpoint?
Mm-hmm.
You were a civilian employee working at Sandpoint?
What I was.
Is that the place where the story about the terrible fog and you had to drive?
The what?
One time you had to drive in some bad fog or bad weather, you
Oh,
couldn't see.
yeah.
Is that where? Going there?
Going to work. Guy was going like mad in the fog. I quit riding with him.
Oh, you were,
I'm ready to drive my own.
You know, Andy told us that, I never heard any stories about you riding horses, but he said you like to ride horses.
Oh yeah. At home I had to go get the meat or groceries on a horseback.
Yeah, but he said you race the horses. No?
Oh, they just go pretty fast. But no, I didn't race no horse. You mean like on a racetrack?
Well, that's what I thought he meant, but maybe that's not what he meant.
Or like drag racing, maybe.
Get itchy, Dad?
Oh, a little bit. Sure. I'm losing all my fat, muscle. Then we stayed in Seattle about 5 years. And Sandpoint closed. Well, they offered me a job in Alameda, so that's where I went.
And Gunner, he went at that time? I mean,
Yeah.
You knew him then, right?
Yeah, he was a supervisor. He went over there. Well, it was all those guys, they were afraid they're going to lose their job.
So some of them didn't get offered jobs?
Well, a few of the top guys lost their job. But they didn't lose, they were demoted down.
Yeah. Dad was saying that Californians treated the people from Seattle very badly because they were worried that they were going to take their
Oh, I
jobs.
see.
Really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And then what gets me, the people from Corpus Christi, they closed the Naval Air Base there. They come over and they put out an order, be good for those poor people, they don't have no money.
Huh.
And they were friendly with them.
But not with the other one.
Not with the Seattle bunch.
Huh.
I heard one supervisor say, well, I got rid of one of them Seattle guys today.
How long did that take before they finally
Take about a year. Then they sent me what I was, some plane I never did work on before. So here's come a dirty job, go to salvage, it was cold. But I went over there and disconnected, all the instrument in the plane and work on the plane.
Oh,
Then
they were taking it apart.
yeah, and those people over there, they really liked me, and I liked them. They put in a transfer for me. Bango, they called me back. Golly. I was kind of mad, but they would treat me a little better when I get back.
sounds like a lot of politics or personal.
Oh yeah, it was all personal.
Personal.
Yeah, someone of the big shots got demoted a little bit.
So what, they closed down the base in Seattle? There was no more base, or
Yeah, they closed it.
they closed the whole thing? Huh. And now
They
Alameda.
made it a 12th district headquarters.
But no
But there was no more workers over there.
And now Alameda's going, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Next year it's going to be
Next
gone.
year.
Somebody's building. Were you in the reserve, Navy Reserve, at that time?
Well, one time, yeah, but soon after the Korean War, I got out. Even the top officer wrote me a nice letter. I should stay in and everything. Maybe they would have called me, but I couldn't take a chance.
Yeah, right. Francis, he was in that war.
Yeah.
He was in Japan. Someone else did.
Yeah, I remember him. He came to visit us
Oh, yeah?
when we lived on Lincoln, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. He brought us up. You remember you were too little probably. Remember those dishes? I don't know if Mom still has.
dishes,
He
yeah.
brought those dishes.
Oh, he brought them.
Yeah, he brought us those dishes, and the thing I remember, of course, is he brought us these little toys. Now for you and me, I guess probably I got them because I was bigger. These little toys, they were like a washing machine, but they're really cheaply made. I think we broke them right away. That was when made in Japan was really
Yeah.
a pejorative thing. That was
stuff.
really poor quality. But of course, that's what I remember. These little, they were very detailed. They were quite intricate, but they weren't very strong. Probably not meant to be really played with.
I remember Dennis.
Well, that was quite a bit
when
later.
Dennis would come,
later.
he'd bring us stuff that Mom would never give us. Potato chips.
Yeah, that's right. Potato chips. He always had potato chips, soda or something.
Yeah, but I remember when you guys went on the carrier for the ride.
Yeah, I remember that. That was, you didn't go.
No, I wasn't there.
But it wasn't all that fun because you had to take a ticket and how come
No,
you didn't go?
see. I was working that
You
day.
were working. Yeah, because, you waited this whole time to go up and see the airplanes take off, and then we were the last group and we never got to see it.
Oh, that's too bad.
But that was the best part.
Yeah, so we waited and we never saw it. About all, Mom remembers too, she said, we went out and saw the Farallon Islands. I would never, they're kind of strange looking out
Very
there.
few of us have seen the Farallon Islands.
Well, but the thing that we'll always remember is that we're standing there looking out, and they fed us, they gave us a nice meal, but then they threw all the garbage, they just threw it off the end of the thing.
Yeah.
I think both of us were probably going, oh my gosh.
You were a ecologist. Huh?
Yeah, I was an ecologist.
Well, the story that I thought was interesting was when Kevin, I guess. It was Kevin.
Kevin
I was
and Dawn, right?
Yeah, and then before that was Dennis. Was that Dennis? The one who died?
Yeah.
He died, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember Kevin, the story I remember about him was he said when they were coming into port that they wanted to make sure they used up all the
Oil?
food. He would bring us sometimes these big things of food because they would just push it overboard as they were coming in because they had to use up all their stuff so they would get the same amount next time. So they would just dump all this food at sea, so they use up all their stuff. So that's why sometimes he would steal one, or one that was going to be thrown away, and he would bring it to us. Remember, he would get this big thing of peaches or something.
Oh, I didn't remember that part.
Yeah. Well, that made sense to me.
Oh gosh, that's
But that seems worse than the garbage.
yeah, I guess. The garbage was, it was so awful.
Pretty gross.
It was just, they had these great big bags, and it was just like so much, and you knew that was just for this party they had,
Well, that's what they did with all the garbage.
But what did Dennis die from, Dad?
Got a tumor in his head.
What is it?
Cancer, I guess. I don't know what was in his head. And
Well, I remember we used to go up to see him up
See him
there.
at Oak Knoll, yeah.
I mean, not that I could go in, but I remember you guys would go in.
Yeah, I saw him
and
a
sit.
couple of times. Yeah.
Then we finally sent him over somewhere in North Dakota,
Oh,
so
a bit
so
closer.
the mother and the
Yeah.
father could go see him. And that's where he died. He was a nice guy.
Oh yeah, he was real.
Gave $20 to Mike to go get some potato chip or something.
Yeah, he was always doing that kind of thing. Yeah, he was a real outgoing person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him better than Kevin.
Kevin was nice too, but his
Yeah,
his brother was more.
Well, we were
He was a
littler,
more,
so I guess
Well,
he was more.
plus he had all these stories about trouble he got into and
Oh, did?
pranks he pulled and
Oh,
stuff
yeah?
like that.
Oh.
Yeah, oh, pushing over outhouses and stuff like that on Halloween night, putting cars up on top of people's roofs and stuff like. He must have been quite a character.
He just seemed like a good time on it.
Oh yeah, he would be a great party guy. His Kevin seemed like less of a hellraiser.
Yeah, well now he's got a big pig farm.
Oh yeah,
Did you see that article?
Yeah, we saw that
Wow.
article. Wow, they're big time.
Yeah,
That's science.
yeah.
It's a big deal.
Of course, then after you see that article, then I read in the U.S. news about those. I mean, his isn't a great big pig farm. I'm sure as big as the ones that they were talking about, but the terrible problem with the pollution from the.
Yeah, and the smell.
Yeah, yeah. Those people had to move away sometimes, the neighbors. I mean, not his farm.
Well, the last time I think I went over there, they had pigs, but not that many. But yeah, it smelled.
Yeah. They got away from the dairy.
Yeah, that was after the dairy
Well, they had.
burned down.
They burned
Well, was the corn crop, wasn't it, that was so bad or something? So they had to
No,
get,
no.
the dairy.
The dairy burned down.
Oh, the dairy burned down.
Yeah.
Oh my. Gosh.
So I guess they sold the cattle and started the pig.
Yeah, I guess that was financially that was better.
His father,
Well, didn't you say in 1 year he made? I don't know. But when they switched to pigs, they made a lot of money.
yeah, but 1 year they lost $50,000 on the butcher
Yeah.
on cattle.
Well, that was on the cow. And then the next year he made it up or something. on the
Yeah,
pigs
then
or
he
something?
retired.
Well, then he retired.
Yeah, I remember the cattle that I remember Kevin saying that they if they had sold their cattle and just sold other farmers' feed, they would have done okay. But they kept their cattle until they lost all
Yeah.
their money.
Well, you were showing me about the Mad Pig article, in the paper.
They got mad pigs too.
No, not me, Mad Cows.
Mad cows, yeah.
And so I'm over in Ferndale the other day, and here's an article about the mad cow scare. I mean, I guess they have so many cows
Well,
over
of
there
course
that
they would be worried about that.
they're
yeah.
scared over there now about the mad cow.
Well, sure, anybody who'd be involved with
And
cows.
cattle, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially they said when the cow get old.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
They don't know what causes it yet. The virus. Isn't it?
Well, they speculate that it has to do with the fact that it was first a disease that they spotted in the brains of sheep, and then when they slaughtered the sheep, they would take the leftovers and they would put it in the
feed.
cattle feed,
Ooh,
and so the
Oh, I
cattle would
see.
get it from the feed. So that
That's
That-
maybe
what
got it, huh?
that way of doing it, they don't do it. They either don't do it
Yeah, I don't
or
think so.
rarely do it in the United
I
States.
don't think
So they think there's less danger in the United States of that happening. But that's how they speculated they got from the sheep too.
I see.
Apparently it just makes the brains look like a sponge, like it has a lot of holes in it or something. As Dad said, the older ones were more, well, either it's more advanced or they stopped doing it recently or whatever. In fact, I guess.
Well, I don't think they've, I mean, I think they've, I've only seen them feed grain to cows in the, when
Yeah,
they're milking
they
them. I
may
don't
not
think
do
they
that at all.
Give them any kind of.
No, they quit giving that kind of feed,
Yeah, they
and they're
stopped.
gonna kill, was it 15,000 a year?
Yeah, a lot.
Well,
Yeah,
they have
a
to
lot.
kill them.
The older ones, yeah. Well,
So the farmers
it's
can
got to
have
be
even
just a
better.
disaster for their cattle industry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people lose money.
Yeah. You don't have insurance on something like that, do you?
No. That's something new.
Yeah.
Well, I was glad we finally got you to tell us the events. I knew all those things you did, but I had no idea when you did them.
Oh, yeah.
Francis said that you didn't tell your mom when you went to the CCCs.
God, I don't know, maybe not. I didn't have no job. I had to go somewhere. And my dad told me, no work over here for you. And I started working on some job that Huey Long was backing up or
The government?
oh,
Yes,
Huey Long
they
was
go.
in the
Huey
government.
Long.
I work about
Yeah, he's the most
maybe
famous
4
governor.
months. Then they fired me, but I didn't know why. But I think it was because
You were too honest.
no, my dad voted against Long.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Long is famous for
Oh, he
patronage.
was a bad guy, yeah.
If you wasn't a Long man,
Yeah.
you won't work for the
Right.
job on the state job.
There's a great documentary about Huey Long. I think maybe by Ken Burns.
Oh, yeah?
It's really excellent.
Where'd you see it?
I've watched it 4 times on Channel 9 NPR. Yeah.
NPR, it's on the radio.
Oh, I'm sorry. KQED or I always say NPR. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Huey Long.
Well, it was named after her.
Yeah,
That's the
named
name, but it wasn't about her. I
Oh.
saw it.
Oh, you
It
said
was about
about him.
him.
And that was a brother, and he was governor afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Quite a bit later, though, like in
Yeah.
the 50s or something.
Well, Dad, he was a Republican?
Who's that?
Democrat?
Democrat.
Well, but even though you were a Democrat, your dad didn't vote for him? Your dad is too smart.
Yeah, but I think the Stammen was against it. He had promised a job to one of the uncles.
Uh-huh.
He never got it. So that set the whole family against the
Oh,
Long.
I see, I
Plus, he didn't help the poor people very much.
see. Well, no, but,
If you was on the Long payroll, you're all right, like killing mosquitoes or work on the levee or something.
This,
Some job that what they did, they just went over there and looked at it and then you get your money.
he's a
How about
very
that?
charismatic figure, though. When you see if you see this documentary, you'll see why people
people like him.
liked him. I mean, why? Well,
Yeah.
Why he had
people
such a
were
following.
taken in by him.
Every man a king.
yeah, he's really powerful speaker.
Well, there's a lot of crooks out there that are charismatic.
Yeah, but you can always argue. You can say, well, if he gets something done, it's sort of like Willie Brown. A lot of he looks
Something like
he looks like he could be getting money from somewhere, but if he gets something done, well, I mean, so when you, they interview people, and a lot of people on both sides. A lot of people hated him. A lot of people loved him.
They long built almost all the cement highways in Louisiana before any other state. But right now they wasn't wide enough, so I think they put some blacktop to widen it.
You know what they were saying that I couldn't believe? When we were in Louisiana, I don't remember seeing any chameleons, but they were all saying that chameleons will just come in your house. Those lizard things?
Right.
There was some, but I don't see any coming now.
Well, I told them about, I remember coming to Grandpa's at night and the cockroaches coming in the door with you.
Well, I just remember so many bugs. It's not just cockroaches, every kind of bug.
Yeah.
I can remember driving in the car and it was like raining bugs. I remember that.
It seemed like, of course, we're from out here where there's hardly any bugs, visible bugs.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like, you
No,
walk around, there's a cloud of bugs everywhere.
But I used to like those lighting bulbs. For 2 or 3 days or about a week, boy, they would light.
I saw one in Oregon when I went with Mom. Well, there probably more than one, but up at that Brit Festival. But they probably were bigger in Louisiana.
I saw them once in Kansas.
They had them in Louisiana. For about a week, then they disappeared. I guess the breeding season was.
Is that when they light up?
Yeah, I think so. Well, if you're not a long people at one time, it'd be tough to make a living in Louisiana.
He was in power a long time.
Hmm?
He was there a long time.
He was about 35 when he got shot.
Got shot? Somebody didn't like him.
He was assassinated.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody didn't like him.
And then his brother took over?
No,
Not
Sam
right away.
Jones, and a guy named Sam Jones. But he didn't do well. He might do it a little better.
Yeah, well, I guess once you have that, it's all set up one way, it kind of corruption.
In fact,
in
when
there.
he was shot, he wasn't a senator then, was he? He wasn't the governor anymore.
Yeah, he was a
Yeah, he was
governor.
He was the governor.
He was a senator though for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was giving Roosevelt a tough time. He thought maybe he's going to run for president.
Yeah, he had a national agreement.
Kind of sounds like what's his name, Marcos. I know it's not.
That's be more Canada's effect.
But he was like Pat Buchanan. He was a Democrat.
populist.
Everybody was Democrat when I was over there.
Yeah.
And he would give somebody a game warden job.
Game warden?
Game warden, you just keep somebody shooting the bird at the wrong time. You never did, but you get about $250 or $300 a month. And he was here longer from North Louisiana. And all over in there, even the road going to the woods, I mean, piney woods, they were all blacktop.
He made things better there in the north
Oh,
than in the
yeah.
south.
Definitely a better road than in the south.
Well, the Cajun, you know what they call Cajun, does that go all the way to New Orleans or Baton Rouge?
Yeah, it's all up in there.
Oh, there, all the way down to the ocean.
If you with the long machine, he was all right. Did a job, game warden. Mosquito killer.
Must be awfully hard to kill mosquitoes in Louisiana.
Sure.
Never ending job.
Except one at a time.
He wouldn't do nothing. He just
Yeah.
maybe when a couple of big shot lived, he might have gone and sprayed them.
Yeah.
Did you have anything like Mardi Gras, or is that just a New Orleans thing?
Oh, we had a Mardi Gras in Lafayette, and at Mardi Gras around Karen Crow they had buggies and they go around and collect stuff to make the big gumbo for the.
Oh, I saw that on TV, on
Yeah.
the PBS, and I thought, oh, I don't think any of
But
my
I don't think
relatives did that.
they do that in Karen Crow, Lafayette anymore. But they do it all around there.
When you were kids, did they do it?
Yeah, they were doing it.
But did they dress up funny? That they did
Oh
dress
yeah,
up
they had
funny.
big hats,
Yeah.
masks, and
Yeah.
color on.
Yeah.
Look
I
like
saw
a-
that on TV.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, not my relatives.
I
Because
don't
I
think
thought,
around home they do it anymore, but they did it a long time ago.
and then they make and then people like give them money or stuff for this, whatever they make, there's something to eat.
Yeah, they would like to have a chicken.
Yeah, a chicken. Yeah, that was it. They go get a chicken.
They were driving they're getting horses, like a
Yeah, like a
bunch of-
parade, like a parade.
They would take potatoes, whatever you give them,
Yeah.
to make a big meal. At night.
And then where did they have the meal?
Oh, some of those Mardi Gras guys.
Oh, so the meal was just for the Mardi Gras guys? It wasn't like everybody else could come and have?
Well, all the Mardi Gras, they probably had a bunch of them,
Yeah,
10 or 15 or something.
yeah. Yeah, they were showing, we watched this on some PBS thing too, but some of them were kind of wild, but they were showing, some of them drank too much beer when they were doing it.
Oh yeah, they drank beer and whiskey. Played with the little kid. So no school today, huh?
No school today, no school this week.
That's pretty nice.
Are the kids doing anything special? I heard Mike was staying over at a friend's
Yeah,
place.
Mike was, they came back, they were watching a Disney movie called Dumbo Drop, where they're trying to get an elephant into Vietnam. So Michael and his friend came over to watch the movie with them. And Carrie got home last night, but I think she got kind of a cold.
Mm.
But it was 80 degrees up at Tahoe. So she never did go skiing.
Too slushy.
Well, I guess she just felt too hot. The little boy and his dad went skiing, and they said it was real slushy. Probably Carrie wouldn't have done very good because she'd get all wet. Yeah, she was really tired. She probably must have been. They got home about 7 last night. She was really tired, so I think she must have slept in the car. So they were taking it easy, watching movies today.
Good idea.
Yeah. So Lindy's there. Lindy got a bunch of fertilizer and stuff. I don't think he'll get it on, but manure. He's gonna turn the garden.
Yeah, garden.
That's kind of his. Pearson's is having that big sale starting today or something. Mike's got to deliver his papers today too. He'll get it done. Anyway, he thought he'd go to Pearson's and get some plants there for along the walkway.
We're waiting for you to come and tell your story about living with a French Canadian.
That's a long story. 47 years long. It's a good story, though. It's a good story, Dad.
No, well,
Yeah.
we'll try.
I only got real mad at you once. And Mary or somebody remembers. No, maybe not. But you remember Lutz's? You remember him?
Oh yeah, that's
Lutz's.
good for nothing guy. Yeah.
Anything, when Lutz said something, Dad jumped.
Well, how did you know Lutz's anyway?
He
Well, I worked with him.
He came from Seattle, too.
Oh, he did. Okay.
But we were painting in the house. I think it was the first time we had to, you don't remember this, but in the dining room, some of the plaster was coming down. Kind of
Where?
I remember that.
There was a big area. Even when we bought it, we saw
Alameda
it.
Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you fixed that.
And we were fixing that. They were trying to paint. And of course, Dad was working and trying to paint, and I was trying to paint. Well, Lutz has come over and wanted him to go and do something. And so he left me painting. He went and worked with Lutz.
Well, I mean, he helped me a lot, so.
Well, I was tired, you know, he's just one of those
Yeah.
things.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, he helped with he was an electrician, right?
And everything I needed, he would fix it.
Yeah,
And
but, I thought I needed it more at that point in time. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. But the other day he was talking about that, and he said, "You really got mad at me once, and you were going to leave me." I said, "Yes, I was pretty mad." I was getting my suitcase, as I recall.
Oh dear.
I think I said that, I didn't get it, but I was pretty upset. Well, just wait, you're not, you haven't lived in 47 years yet. Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, Dad probably got mad at you too.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but I got mad more. I said, living with the...
I think she got mad at me when I used to go to Tahoe on the bus.
They know I didn't like that.
Well, that
But
was sort
anyway.
of controlled.
But I didn't threaten.
But Andy said Dad always liked games like that.
Well, it seems to me they all do. I mean, wasn't it Francis who bought everybody a lottery ticket?
Yeah, I think both of them. But they knew where to go. They knew how to do the quick pick and all that.
What anniversary are you coming up on, Mary?
20.
20. Well, I can always forget. Let's see, we're in 15, something like that. Yeah. That's not bad. 20. Long ways to go from 47, though.
20 seems like a long time.
And now she got to put up with a weak, sick old Cajun.
Hey, that's all right.
He's all right.
She can do it. She can do it. She wants to do it. She will do it. Hope I can do a good job with it.
Boy, she's doing a good job.
Well, you know, my kids were so taken by your relatives. Kelly's ready to go to Louisiana.
Sometimes you feel like sending them off like a
Yeah, that'd be
The
all
trouble
right.
is you're sending them someplace they want to go. And find someplace you don't want to go.
Looked like she liked Lucy. She
Yeah.
should go to Florida.
Yeah, poor Lucy. We get there, I mean, I couldn't tell Kelly, no, don't do this, but you know, you had given her that little jewelry making thing with the beads for her birthday. Well, anyway, she made herself a bracelet, and it's just made with thread, and it has beads on the top. So we get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever it is, and she give it to Lucy, and Lucy put it on her arm, you know, and I'm afraid she won't be able to get it off, so to cut it.
I'm sure she'll get it off.
But anyway,
That was
she
a
was
nice
nice to
gesture,
Kelly.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, she's really sweet.
Well, it looked like she liked Lucy.
She was out there, did you see her out there dancing with her?
Yeah, I heard it. But she go over there, she got like to see all that Disneyland stuff. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Orlando.
Yeah, where Lucy
Yeah.
lives, yeah. Kelly's decided she loves to travel. But, you know, I hope someday she can.
Get a job like Charlene.
Yeah.
Or work for the airlines, maybe.
Yeah,
Work for the airlines.
Yeah.
I think she has she's not afraid to talk in front of people, and she can write pretty well. I think she'll you know, if she wants to stay with this journalism stuff, I think she could do pretty good. I mean, I think she has kind of a good start, and she has the talent to do it.
Well, we saw her on
They
top.
had, they had a little piece on PBS, the local station, or local, whatever it was, and we saw
The
her.
Cox thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
no,
Cox
that
thing.
thing. Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and the teacher was with her, and she did better than the teacher did speaking, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
she's pretty quick.
Yeah,
on her
the teacher.
Yeah,
He's
she's like her dad.
Yeah, they were quite impressed. I think that some of the teachers, you know, from Lindy's school, they went and they were supposed to talk about something else. And so she was the only kid there, so I guess of course she got a lot of attention.
But it was just that the teacher
Well, the teacher I think is kind of tongue-tied.
always this woman.
He's a nice person.
It just seemed like he just was having trouble saying what he was trying to say.
Maybe he's an old-fashioned journalism teacher who writes. Maybe he's not a spoken journalist.
Well, as I understand, he's just kind of a different personality from somebody else that. I mean, he's really nice. We like him, but he's not as we understand it. Not every kid will take to him. He's kind of has a beard. He's a vegetarian. He kind of looks like a nerd.
Well, he probably is a kind of nerd.
So some kids probably wouldn't like him, but she gets along well with him. And I think he's got her pegged as somebody that is responsible. So he's got her as the president of some club that he's the moderator of. And
So she gets to do all the work.
yeah,
She kind of wears her out, you know.
Yeah. But he's helped her a lot too. So.
Now, she's in 8th grade now?
Yeah.
Will she go to high school next year?
So we went to that meeting.
So both she and Mike have big transitions, huh?
Yeah. And Carrie too will go to a different school. She'll go down to Mike's school. Mike will go to Kelly's school, and she'll go to high school.
What is she in? What school is she? What kind of school is she now? Or what?
7th and 8th grade. So
What about Carrie?
Oh, well, see, that school is like they have kindergarten, first and second
Oh.
at one campus.
Oh, I see.
It's the
I
same
didn't know.
school,
I
but she'll
see.
have to get used to go to a different campus.
I understand.
Because they have 3rd through 6th at the other campus.
I belong to the hop. He'll take me over to the doctor, but since I got a private
Yeah, that's all right.
Right.
Yeah, for now anyway, yeah.
Well, I can come tomorrow too.
no, well, should you come when they got,
You got Mike, huh?
Well,
Lady-
yeah,
lady-
don't need to give a ride, but you can
yeah,
come and
but there's
join
a
us.
lady right here in Clover, what's that place over here?
Oh, Carlotta.
Colorado,
Yeah.
she lives over there.
She's
She
pretty
called
nice,
us
huh?
twice already. Maybe that's her.
Maybe that's her. Yeah, I'd
That's
like to
good,
meet her.
yeah.
No cost anything.
Yeah, that's a good deal, huh?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Mike said he went to a class and learned about it.
Yeah,
Very
well,
nice.
you know, around us, around our place. Same thing, sounds like. That's great.
It's national, international?
No, they're local, but I guess
But I
it's,
mean,
it's a
I
national
thought-
movement.
Oh,
I mean, international movement.
international.
Mom was saying it started in England. It's a great thing.
Well, I think tomorrow we should tell the doctor maybe the nausea medicine needs
Yeah, well,
more better.
yeah, hopefully that
Well,
would
we'll
be.
see what he said.
Yeah.
She seemed like a nice person. So you get lots of phone calls now, huh?
Boy. We can't.
Well, I was having a couple masses said, and of course I even forgot when they were scheduled.
Yeah.
One of them was Thursday, but Father's gone all week. So I said, well, I don't drive. My son here is here this week, which would have been nice. And so she said, could we reschedule? So I said, maybe on a Friday,
Oh, okay.
maybe you could come down to the 19th.
When's the mass?
At 9 o'clock. I hope you can get here. I don't know. It's kind of pretty early.
Yeah, I could make it by then, because Carrie's the only one I have to worry about, and she's gone at 8 o'clock.
And then I asked her about the host, whatever this little container is, and Father hadn't said anything to her. And she said there's people do come around and deliver communion to
Like a deacon or something.
shut-ins.
Or
I don't think
Eucharistic
they're-
miniature,
yeah, I don't think the deacon-
Eucharistic
yeah.
minister.
So I said, well, that's fine with me. That probably would be better than the other way, because I don't drive and I wouldn't
Then
always
you have
be
to
able
worry about getting it back.
Yeah, and I wouldn't always get,
Yeah.
so, but she still insisted on talking to Father about it. But I think I'm gonna say I would rather have it the other way.
Well, I think she's new, and she
Yeah,
probably
she
just
is
wants
new.
to, doesn't
Yeah.
want to make more mistakes.
She is new, yeah. But of course, like I said, I didn't know. I thought maybe she's new. But it kind of sounded like maybe she didn't know that this was of course, maybe Father too had done it in other parishes, and it was something
Oh, I see.
here too.
Maybe she didn't know.
Yeah, but like I said, I think the other way would be probably better. Because I'll have so many things in my mind now that, I won't.
Yeah. Well, I could always get it over there.
But I know that Jim, he was doing that with his mother, but of course, he was, I guess, very good friend of the priest there.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes, I don't know, I guess maybe the way she talks, sounded like you'd have to bring it back. You couldn't, kind of leave it sit around your house. Well, she said, well, maybe you could get, first she started to say a supply, and she says, oh, I don't think you wouldn't get a supply. But of course, I think she's going to have to get a straight with Mom.
Yeah, so she
You
doesn't
know.
know what she's doing. We think you're holy enough, Dad.
Yeah.
Well, they just gave me half. That's all I want. Half of those.
I wonder, because they're just not having any morning mass. I said, he's going this week, there's nobody. Is on vacation.
He's tired.
The problem is, he may not come back.
Well, I
Unless
hope.
they get him another helper.
Yeah, that's too bad, your other priest. What happened to him?
He lives right over here.
Well, something happened to the pastor in Lakeport. See, he had been there before, so it's probably why he was called to go back there. He had a stroke or something serious, so he was called before Michael was doing there. So I think that's what happened Sunday. That mix-up in masses.
Oh, is
I was
that
trying
what
to tell
happened?
Lucy that, but
Oh,
it
I
wasn't
see.
getting through. Because see, that kind of happened, like the one we had, he was still there. Well, by the next Sunday, we didn't go to mass, we didn't get a bulletin,
Yeah.
and we didn't know.
Yeah.
And so, but I just had cut that other one out of
Yeah,
it.
well, that's
So,
right.
and so we were just kind of going by that. We should have called, but
Well, you didn't think. You think
'Cause
on
I just
Easter
thought,
there'd
yeah.
be two masses?
yeah, of course, we didn't even know he was gone.
Oh,
So we didn't know any of that happened. So. But it was kind of funny. In Sunday's bulletin, they had something about now that Father Michael Rogers is gone, and then they had another little piece where we're going to have a, goodbye farewell party for him. So whether he was coming back,
Oh yeah, he
I
probably come
suppose he
back.
could come
oh, I
back.
see.
for-
Oh, maybe
I guess Lakeport isn't that far, it's about a week.
Yeah. I think those guys have to travel in their cars a lot. Go to meetings and stuff.
What's that new? Is that New Clear Lake? Lakewood? Where's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. And the people that did our trust, that's where have their business.
Go in Lakeport.
Yeah, but they did have, they were in business south of San Francisco. She told us some town there. But I think she, of course, I don't know his background, but hers, she was out there from back east because, she's got schooling in Virginia and places back in that area, so.
Well, you showed me they write for the little
I just-
paper. Well, you showed me,
So I don't know, maybe they haven't been in Lakeport all that long, I don't know, have you ever noticed it? Well, I've
No,
never
we
noticed
haven't
it before.
taken that little paper for a long time.
Well, we don't take it, but there's this fellow at the door of another church, nobody will take him. So we
Nobody
take
will
one,
take 'em.
and then maybe we take another one, and it's the same one you got. So sometimes
Well,
we
they're
have-
only once a month.
Yeah, I know, he keeps, I feel sorry for him, he's just trying to get it.
He gives them
We
to
keep
you.
taking.
Oh, wow. Oh, dear.
Is this some kind of advertising?
No, it's the
Diocesan
diocesan.
Oh, the
Center.
diocesan paper.
But I think, as I recall, one of the priests said that they have to pay for those.
They do,
Yeah.
yeah.
But finally got blind. Probably
Oh.
why Andy's got bad eyes or something.
She's the one that lived to be 90-something? Is that the one?
No, no.
No.
That's on the Stammen side, on the my other grandmother.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to hear him talk.
Well, it looks like from this, a lot of the, it says where they're buried. If we ever went over there, we could actually find their tombstones. For a lot of these real old ones.
or that Narcisse went to Oklahoma for a parade or something. He met this woman and married her over there.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that.
Yeah.
Came back married.
Yeah, I went away for.
But she didn't like the Thibodeaux. Wasn't that the story? And
No, no.
after he.
All the money was hers. But when he died, I guess she got some relative in Southern California. She went over there. Didn't like it, and come back to Brewbridge.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see.
She liked Brewbridge, I think.
Now Lawrence Kim Thibodeaux, he goes by Kim, because they were saying, well, that's Kim Thibodeaux.
Yeah.
So I didn't know who was.
Who does Kim Thibodeaux work for? Electrical company?
Telephone company.
Telephone, okay, he travels all around. He's not married.
Was he the son of?
Jay.
Oh, Jay. But he was younger than those girls? Was Mary Helen?
Yeah, I think there was 3
I
girls.
think he was the oldest one, isn't
Or he was the
No,
oldest?
there's 2 girls.
He's in the
were
middle.
oldest.
He's the
he?
middle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then, are there 3 girls? And
Yeah, there's another girl in there somewhere.
It's Arlene Agnes, Mary Helen, Wanda Claire, Lawrence
Wanda.
Kim,
Yeah.
then Celia Marie, and Terrence Blake.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, he was just a baby when we were there. He went into service. Well, I guess maybe still in whatever he was, Army or something.
You mean Blake?
Yeah, Blake.
He got in intelligence.
Oh.
I think it's the Army or Navy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Army, I think.
I know he was in Germany.
Yeah. But he graduated from Southwestern, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
There mustn't be too many males named Thibodeaux at the next generation, because
No.
Andy he saw the picture of Lawrence and he said, oh, at least he's a Thibodeaux.
Yeah, he made that comment. Yeah, when you said it too. Told him about it. Well, Francis has 1, and Jay has 2.
What those boys, the Andys or Thibodeaux, are they all adopted?
No. They're, for her first marriage, they're Robin, R-O-B-I. Robin to me, but I don't, Robin, how do they pronounce it?
Robin.
Robin.
Oh, I thought some of them were his. Oh.
2 daughters. Yeah.
Oh, just the girls.
Yeah, that's, if nothing else, this is great just to see all your cousins. You know, because I could never keep them straight. Mom can keep them straight. She knows them. She gives me a list of them and what they're doing, and then
Well, of course, I went there
it goes
as an
in one.
adult, and you kids were kids, you know.
went in one ear and one out the
Well,
other.
you reach a stage where, like, you're interested now. There's some people your age wouldn't even still be interested if you're interested. Yeah, I think there's about, I counted them one time, I think there's about 20, 21 grandchildren.
But that's all the boys?
Well, yeah, that's all, there was a thing there. Because Jesse's are Durban.
Yeah.
Jay, as I said, is a 2. Lucy's are Isbra. Or Charles. Francis 1. Oh, wait a minute, there's another one. Ray has 1.
Keith Michael.
Keith, yeah. One more. How many grandchildren are there?
Okay, I'll count.
Andy's, I mean, their son.
Counting-
Did he
yeah.
adopt? Did he?
No, he
He
never
didn't
did.
adopt those kids,
No.
Andy? They
But-
seem like they're pretty good woodworkers. I mean,
Oh, yeah, but they go over there.
But he was telling, he's kind of got all his plans made. He's given away something. But there's something that he's going to give the girls half and the Robins the other half. He's gonna, I don't know what it was, but there's something. As I said, I get a little bit, you know, that I have to do something, but He's evidently leaving
Could be
some.
what the land he's got left. Because they figured he bought it or inherited what they were living with them. Living with Andrew.
There was something.
If you count all the adopted and step, everybody on the list is 27, counting us. You know, if you count everybody.
Yeah, well, it's just, Tessie's kids would be the only ones that aren't. You said step, that's all that.
Well, those are
You counted
adopted,
them,
and then
those
there's
are-
the Robin.
Oh.
So I was just counting everybody on the
I
list.
see they have them listed too.
They're all listed here. If I
Yeah,
count just
okay,
the ones who
okay.
are, it's a shorter list then.
Yeah, I didn't know Tessie's name was Therese. Or is that how they say it?
Yeah.
I heard Lucy say it, or somebody said it. Do you remember Tessie used to send us presents?
Oh, 19.
Boy, I remember that.
No, I don't.
I remember she sent me this thing that it was like a spelling thing. You move it across and you make words.
So it's still about 20 or something.
Yeah, but she'd always send pecans. That's where we got in the habit of having lots of pecans. So it's you know, my picnic tablecloth. I mean,
Yeah, the one with the different squares.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she's-
Oh, did you?
Well, you're gonna go see your in-laws then.
Yeah, I guess it's Go see her with her wrist, the broken wrist.
Oh, yes, she's all right, yeah.
I'll thank her for the flowers.
Yeah, you think.
Yeah, that was nice. They don't last long though, those, lilies.
I watered them, but they're still.
They just don't last long. They don't last long on the, when Leonard has them. So this is all I got to take?
Unless you want some leftover food.
No, I got lots of that.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow morning, I guess.
Yeah, okay. I better take a bath, huh?
I'm not gonna look at you.
Well, I can show you how to get to the doctor, please.
Oh, all right.
No. We know how to get there.
You know how to get there? Well, then that's all right. You know how to get there.
I know how to get there.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Well, if you want me to.
Yeah.
No.
We'll like your
No
company.
problem.
No
Come on
problem.
now, come
We
on.
don't need you, but we like your
You
company.
don't have to, you can just, then you can.
Just come and join us.
Then you can
We'll
take
come
us
and buy
out
lottery
for lunch or
tickets.
something.
We don't get to visit you very often, so it's nice to have you here.
Oh, thanks. We'll come have a roll or something.
Yeah, just come and visit me. If Dad doesn't want to see you, you can come and visit me.
Yeah, we got 2 cinnamon rolls left if the mouse don't get in there eating. What are you doing, Mary? You getting in my rolls?
Well, nobody's eating my pie, Mom.
Oh, don't worry about that.
It'll get eaten.
It's gonna get eaten.
She's just eating up the sort of little dribs and drabs before.
Well, I had to get rid of the cake first, because it isn't very much.